Hello, it's Collette from the Sacred Rose Temple, and I'm here to give you this week's energy forecast. I know that we are all super feeling the eclipse season. And, everyone I speak to is going through a really intense time. There is emotional tension, sensitivity, lots of things coming up with regards to our relationship to self, to other people, to our world, our environment, everything. And it feels a lot. It is a lot. But this whole vacuum of energy, this whole shadow portal is meant to change us on a deep level. I don't think any of us can escape what's going on in the media, and I try my hardest to keep my eyes away from the lies, the twisting, the contortions of the media because I know they twist humanity. And I see deeply through spiritual lens at the moment the deep separation that's trying to be fear-mongered, fueled against people. And there is a rhetoric in our society that has been consistent in that we are trying to always overpower another. And it goes on from all sides. I stick fervently by the saying, there is no left and right. They are the wings of the same bird, and the bird that we are all flying is corrupt, unjust, and in deep search of power. And power is the polarity of love. We can see this overriding in our towns, in our cities, this inability to stay in our hearts, to stay in love, but to constantly need to overpower. There is no balance, there is no equilibrium. And that is the true state of the polarities within us as humans. We are not in balance. We haven't found it yet. And so, therefore, it shows itself within our collective. When I see stuff in the collective going on, it's a reflection back to me. I see twisted lies, I see manipulation, I see staging, I see fakeness. And that is what we are holding as people. It's being projected outwards and it's creating these scenarios. And what we need to do is take these scenarios, bring them back to ourselves and say, what needs to change in me? And that's where it always lies, the change in ourselves as individuals. So it's time to really kind of, I never say turn away from what's happening because I think that's apathetic and naive, and silence is kind of an oppression as well. But I think it's time to really hold back from watching too much out there and also discerning what is truth and what is lies. There is deep manipulation. People are twisting truth, even videoing distortion. It's not what it appears. But the truth is to pull from and extract from whatever is being seen back to ourselves as a way of healing. We're going to and this eclipse is rough because it's going to keep being rough until you realize the things it's trying to show you. It's trying to bring clarity, clearness. One thing that's coming through is emotional clarity. You cannot hide the way you feel. When you feel something, it doesn't mean it's the truth, but it's how you feel about something. And when others feel certain ways about something, when there is emotion there, it gives us a deeper sense of clarity about what we want, what we don't want. Things like anger important. They show us like when boundaries have been crossed or when we have been subjugated to abuse or misuse or whatever. But the emotional clarity that you are going through, the emotions that you're feeling, the tension is because you're not feeling emotionally. And that's what's going on in the world. This big power play is people are unable, like big babies and big children, to process and deal with their emotions. And this is key. How are you processing your emotions? Are you allowing them? Are you saying, well, I don't feel anything? Or, oh, this doesn't impact me. Is it because you are closing against emotions? Emotions will heal. Emotions will bring you to soul. Emotions will bring you to the heart. It will bring you out of power struggles. So this is key. It's going to heal us on a very deep level. Whatever's coming up now, if we get into the emotions, if we can feel them and be true to ourselves, what we'll see is that the is healing that needs to happen to you. Can you own that healing? Can you own what needs to change in you? Because what seems to be the biggest theme with Mercury and Saturn playing this for us is that we seem to be looping in the same patterns. We can see that in the collective assassination, war, everything, division through race, religion. It's the same old frigging story. And we're looping in them because we're not addressing the fundamental split inside ourselves. And that's what needs addressing. We need to own what is going on in our life is because of us. It's a very low stage of consciousness when we are still blaming outside of ourselves. Well, I hate it when this group of women do this, or these men do that, or what invites that in? Where can you take allowance? Someone did this to me. No, you allowed that. I'm not talking about, not talking about childhood things, by the way. I'm talking about, this man treated me badly. Where did you allow that? We have to take ownership. It brings back the power to us, brings all the power back to us. We're not always in victim mode. We're in a realization that this is relational, and we keep getting in these relational situations where we need to address that relational situation by speaking about it to the other, but taking ownership in why that's coming into you. And that's been a very big piece with me over the last month or so, just relating with the masculine and what that means to me is if I move forward in having clear communication, showing up, all of that. And if it isn't there, then why? What is it in me? Where am I allowing this? And why am I allowing it? To be honest, and being honest with myself. And then I can take all the power back from the opposite person who I believe is doing this to me. So I think this is really super key. Conversations in relating, having conversations with people, sharing what you're not happy with, what you're feeling without projecting. You are this, you are that is a projection. We all do it. But where can we say, I feel this way and I no longer will allow this? That's very, very different. So your conversations are needed with people in your life, bosses, children, lovers, friends, have those heart to heart conversations. And the key is there in heart to heart, not head to head. Don't be in head butting. Don't be in I'm right, you're wrong. Be in your heart. This is how I feel. This is the energy that's trying to come through with the eclipse. It's going to bring breakups. It's going to split people up because you're unable to go heart to heart. You're in power to power, or you're in head butting. And really, what we want to do is be sensitive, be in our senses, notice how we're feeling, notice how the other's feeling, what we're bringing up for each other, how we really don't want to argue. What we want to is become into resolution, but resolve that in the self first. So it's going to feel pretty sensitive. You're going to be a bit spiky. Be careful, don't blow things up. Try to stay in the heart, stay in the sensitivity, stay in the emotion. And there will be a lot that is out of alignment showing itself to you. Those things that are out of alignment are not based in love, they're based in fear. If I let this go, what am I scared of? If I behave this way or do it that way instead, what am I afraid of? These are what you need to address. The misalignment, the what's out of alignment showing you where you are still living in fear. I'm scared if I let that go, what? That you'll just be in a more peaceful space or that you'll actually grow more. So really ask yourself, where are you in fear, not love? We are also going to be in the space where we can let those things go, where we can let them go. That we are trying to bring in things that are more important, connections that are important. Those ones that haven't been working are not meant to. They're really not meant to. And what is trying to be brought to you is the things that could work, the things that will be better for you, will take you to that next level of learning about yourself. That's what's trying to come in. So don't keep the old things going because they're just going to keep you in the same loops and patterns that I mentioned before. Come into the place where you realize that this is just not for you. It's just not working. And it's a unique chance for change, that the shadow is not just theirs. In fact, it's not theirs, it's yours. Can you own that it's yours? I'm seeing this a lot in the spiritual community. Actually, there's a lot of people throwing out the word shadow and blaming others. Well, this is the shadow, but where's it meeting yours? Like, what's yours? Let's talk about yours, and let's not make it nice shadow. It's because I'm unworthy, or it's because I'm the victim thing. But what can you do to own the shadow? Yeah, I'm manipulative. Yeah, I'm avoidant. Yeah, I silence people. Where can you own it as straight as that? Because what that demands of you is for you to come into vulnerability and to heart and not be in ego and head. Defending ourselves is the very thing we do when we don't want to admit, when we come into shame or fear or all of those things that are in the shadow. So, where can you be vulnerable and open and admit? That's really going to help you shift stuff in your life. We are becoming more ego, more headbutting, more separate, more power. And it's quite monstrous to be like that. We lack empathy. We're actually violent in our words and our deeds. And that's what we're seeing out in the world. This non-empathetic, violent. I seen something the other day where they were talking about a killing that had happened, and this person had brutally killed someone. And underneath, all the people were then sharing how they'd brutally kill him, chop his neck off, set him on fire. And I was just in disbelief that the people who were condemning the violence were indeed themselves so violent that they could be violent in thought and speak in that way. We can't condemn violence with violence. It just makes no sense whatsoever. We change things by bringing in our heart, by bringing in our empathy, saying, why is this happening? What's going on in our world? How can we change this through love, not through acts of violence? So we do need to change. We all need to change. We need to understand that the heart, the vulnerability, the not wanting power, but seeking love, seeking connection is at the center of all of us as humans. And that's where the magic and the mystery is in life. That's where we make important connections. Can we be vulnerable? Can we be in our heart? Can we let our ego go to one side and say, yeah, like I feel ashamed, or yeah, behave that way? Can we do that and open up to deeper relating, deeper intimacy? You can't sit on the surface of blame and projection and shadow and not expect the same reciprocal energy. So this shadow is really, really showing us itself in the portal of this eclipse. If we can work on that, if you can call yourself out, you can change a lot of things in your life. We're going to be entering a whole new energy again on the 22nd of September. Listen, it's not letting up after the 21st. We've got more work to do the 22nd. I'll talk about this next week, is issues coming with Mars and Scorpio that are rare, and they will bring in more ideas of problems. So I don't want to be horrible and share that with you, but people are thinking, oh, like I'll do this and then I'll have some let up. No, no. The cycle is not done yet with us. It's not done. We need deeper lessons because we're not getting it, because we're not going there. And so please, please understand that if you are doing the shadow work, if you are coming into those places that you are not good, that you are manipulating and chaotic and violent and all of those things, that's how we change the world. That's how we do it. So these are big, big times in our world, these apocalyptic times. We can see it where the world gets darker, it gets more fiery. The churches are burning, buildings are burning, politics are burning. There's stuff going in our world that the media is not covering, and it's covering what it wants us to see, so that we quieten our voice, so we get threats about standing up and speaking out, so that we get threats that if we are of a nomination that we're not wanted or welcome, that there's division, that we hate each other. The rhetoric is causing deep fractures in our society, and only we can change them on a personal level. Find the fractures in you, find the war in you, find the violence in you, find where you do not speak out about things. Find it in you, and we will change those things. Bring in love, bring in vulnerability, be the person that you want people to be to you. Stop blaming it outside of yourself and take ownership. Then we'll change through this eclipse portal powerfully, gracefully, and with a new vision of being a new, empowered, visionary leader, spiritual person, teacher, elder, whatever that is, it lies in those very things. So I'm feeling it. I'm in the midst of the mud with you all, truly, honestly, knowing that there is no let up without me doing the work. There is no gassing off until I reach those very places that are trying to show themselves that cause fracture and disruption in my life. So I'm wishing you so well. Use this transformation. It's transformation. You know, I remember 20 years ago thinking, oh God, I really want to do some deep work on myself. And the climate wasn't ripe like it is now. The climate, the cosmos, the collective conscious and unconscious is absolutely working in our favor for deep change. But will we take it? It's up to you. Sending you love, sending you light, sending you the ability to do this. Oh, my love, Collette.